don't go out here in Pennsylvania in the woods by yourself.
Crick Foot, the mysterious creature residing by the tranquil banks of the Neshaminy Creek in Hatfield, Pennsylvania, had long enthralled local tribes of bygone eras. Known by the haunting tales passed down through generations, these ancient inhabitants ventured into the depths of the woods, pursuing the elusive half-human, half-beast, being said to roam in the shadows. Hunters sought to unravel the secrets of this enigmatic creature, believing that encountering it could bestow either great fortune or dire misfortune upon them. The legend of Crick Foot became an inseparable part of the community's cultural heritage, and the spirit of those tribes lives on as a timeless reminder of the human fascination with the unknown and the enduring bond between humankind and the natural world.
My name is Bone Johnson. I am a lifelong Hatfield, Pennsylvania resident, and I'm here to tell you the story about Crick Foot. Throughout this documentary, we will be speaking to local residents, cryptid professionals, independent researchers, and scientists to gain an insight into the elusive beast. So hold on to your hot dogs as we discover the truth. So recently I've discovered this, I guess, urban legend in Hatfield called Crick Foot. It's kind of like a Sasquatch creature that hangs around the Neshaminy Creek, which is like, I grew up playing in the Neshaminy Creek. I mean, my parents' house was right up against it. I would see it every day. So to hear this urban legend, it's something that just kind of blew my mind. It seems to have been around, centuries ago, and then just got lost to civilization, and now people are starting to talk about it again. So I, being a lifelong resident, just figured I'd give my mind a shot and research it and try to document it for historical purposes. I mean, I talked to historians. I did some interviews with some scientists. I mean, I got teams together to research this thing. So this documentary is just telling that story. So see what we dig up. I got a call from my assistant, Jerry. He told me somebody had called the office reporting what looks like a footprint on the banks of the Neshaminy Creek. It seems to be washed away a little bit. I mean, we got some rain. So let me just show you. So here's what I'm looking at right here. It's out of place from everything else around it, but it looks like it could have been some type of footprint that got washed over a little bit with the rain. As you can see, the creek has risen a little bit, so I don't know if the water affected this or not, but we're just going to document this and keep the search up. Soon after I began my research, more and more people started to come forward, telling me that they had their own Crick Foot encounter story. I knew I had to find these people. They were out there. I needed to interview them.
I needed to hear their side of the story. What was this thing? Or what is this thing?
Well, yeah. I guess just about everyone here in Hatfield, PA has a story about Crick Foot. Mine? Oh. I guess it would be that one time at the annual hot dog festival. I know. Why does Hatfield have an annual hot dog festival when that's the only thing Crick Foot goes after? I don't know. I don't know why we still do it. Anyways, I was in the hot dog eating contest and I was having a great time. And I had this hot dog almost to my mouth. And I was on like my 17th one, by the way. I had this hot dog almost to my mouth and I was about to win. And the next thing you know, it was slurped out of my butt. Hot dog slurped right out of the butt. Just like a noodle. So, yeah, I did not win that year.
Me and a couple buddies decided to go camping. Camping to us was just, let's take a Friday and go up to the woods and pitch a tent and drink beer and smoke and do that kind of thing. Anyway, we did this, and it was we had our tent set up and we built a fire, and it wasn't dark yet. It was like just starting to get dark, and we had the fire going, and Billy brought some hot dogs, so we skewered them, and we were cooking them on the fire, and drinking and having a good time. And suddenly we heard something moving in the brush. Now, where we were, there aren't, bears are not really predators, and there's no puma or anything like that, so we were kind of a little bit shook, but we just, drinking, and then next thing you know, something was throwing something at us, and it was like, when we looked where it was hitting, it was rocks, and then next thing you know, it was on this side, and then just out of the blue, we hear this kind of like a roar, and we all look to where it came from, and this thing stepped out. And man, I'm telling you, I think Billy crapped his pants. I don't know, but we hauled butt. We just took off running. Well, of course, the next day we had to go back up and get the equipment, and the funny thing was, the only thing that was disturbed was they just ate our hot dogs. That was it. Whatever it was, that if it was Crick Foot, they just ate the hot dogs. Left everything else alone.
You want to know about Crick Foot? I'll tell you about Crick Foot. He ruined me and Paul's weenie roast the last 3 years. 3 years he's ruined it now for us. East Hatfield weenie roast used to be the biggest weenie roast in Hatfield. Now because of Crick Foot, he done run everyone off, and we just have to eat all the hot dogs ourselves or feed them to that sumbitch.
Yeah, I saw Crick Foot once. He was all sitting out here. There was a picnic going on in the back. We did have hot dogs on the grill. You see those trees back there? I'm the one that saw it. Big, hairy motherfucker. I don't know, people didn't believe me, but I know what I saw. I don't care what they say.
The Crick Foot runs deep around these parts, and I'm not really sure how I feel about him being back on my land. He hangs out by the river down the way, and sometimes I catch him staring at my old lady. I see him in the trees. I see him hanging, and he hangs low, if you know what I mean. But you can't touch him because he's a legend around these parts, and he's like a Galapagos Island animal. So I saw the Mr. Crickfoot and I let him do his thing. But now if I cross him again, and he's looking at my old lady with the love in his eyes, I might just take my poop stick right off the wall and go after him.
Hey everybody, we're out here today in Hatfield Township by School Road Park. We heard there was a recent sighting of Crickfoot here, but we're taking a look. Haven't found any traces yet, but we did grab some trash bags to clean up some trash while we're here.
So the next person I talked to about their Crickfoot encounter is my Auntie Mandy. Oh, God love her. Okay. So Auntie Mandy claims she had an encounter or multiple encounters when she was younger, considerably younger probably than she is now. So I let her talk. So just bear with this one, folks.
All right, so let me tell you about Crickfoot. When I was a girl, okay, we used to hang out by the creek. And the creek is pretty big around here. Everybody went there, especially if you didn't have a pool. I wasn't rich, nobody had a pool. And we used to go there and put our feet in and splash around. And sometimes we go meet boys down there. Don't tell my mother, she would lose her shit. Anyway, we went down there to meet some boys, and it was getting dark. It was a little dark. It was past the street lamp hours, which that night I got in a lot of trouble. But focus. So anyway, we're sitting there waiting for these guys, right? And they show up. They show up eventually. But before they show up, there was all these strange noises. And at one point, my friend Marcy, oh, God rest her soul, she died when she was really young. But we saw this like really tall shadow, and I'm just saying it's like a tree. It's a tree, right? It's just a tree. And there's no way, there's woods everywhere. What could it possibly be? But we're talking about, I had just watched a documentary on Ted Bundy on 2020, and I was like, hey, maybe this is it. Maybe this is my time to go. Maybe I'm going to be in the paper tomorrow. Oh, but then I got to die with Marcy, and then it's just the whole thing. But listen. I'm telling you, it was Crickfoot. Okay, I heard him behind me breathing, just like really loud breathing, almost kind of like my Uncle Charles in church, when he would fall asleep in the pew. But I'm just saying, he was there. I heard it, I saw it. Big shadow, really furry, Somebody told me it was just a game, and I was probably pretty drunk. But honestly, I didn't really drink back then. I didn't really partake. Like my dad would have killed me if he would have found any alcohol on me. But that was it. I saw him. And to this day, nobody believes me. Well, there's a few people that believe me. A few people that have actually saw it. But you didn't hear it from me.
Well, we love Henry and we try to support all of his interests. And we tried soccer and he wasn't really into it. We tried music, he wasn't really into that. But for some reason, these cryptids just captured his imagination. And, I never thought I would be one of those local yahoos traipsing through the woods on a Saturday afternoon looking for a hot dog obsessed ape man. But there we were. Do you really believe that there's a giant 8-foot ape man living in Hatfield, Pennsylvania?
You mean 9 foot?
Well, whatever.
Yeah. It literally chased me. Did you hear that thing's roar? We were running for our lives.
All right, folks. So I'm taking a little break from running back and forth from the Hatfield Museum to the Indian Valley Public Library over to the Lansdale Library. Just trying to dig up more on Crick Foot. I mean, I'm finding some documentation, some first-hand encounters, but it's like painfully obvious that it's like you either believe in him or you don't, and you're convinced everybody that believes in it is crazy. So I've done personal encounter videos with people that have had experiences with Crick Foot. So I took some time to do some interviews with people that, don't necessarily believe in Crick Foot. So we're gonna see what they have to say.
The Legend of Crick Foot is not real.
My name's Chet Thomas. I've been hunting all through Hatfield, Pennsylvania for the last 40 years. I've seen bears stand up on 2 legs for an hour. I've seen coyote the size of bear, but I ain't seen no Crick Foot. Sure, I tried hunting them 2, 3, 48 times to be exact. I even put wiener juice on my boots, but I ain't seen no Crick Foot. I don't think he exists, but if he does, I'm gonna get him.
I don't know what you all think that you're seeing in those woods, but it's not this creature. There's just no way. I mean, it's woods. There's other huge animals out there. You can find bobcats, mountain lions, hell, even bears. I grabbed about 10 pounds of hot dogs, and I went out to the woods. Cooked them all up. Had an old pair of shoes with me. I took the remaining hot dog juice, I poured it in the shoes, and I poured some hot dog juice all around the camp and all on the trees. The next morning when I woke up, I went out to go grab my breakfast, and my hot dogs were gone. Now, I want to believe. I really do. But it's not meant to be. There is no proof that there was any huge creature that took my hot dogs. Could have been any animal.
Being a professional outdoorsman and adventurer has brought me a lot of experiences. And unfortunately, about once a year, I have to take my time and talk about Crick Foot and, debunk the fact that, these people are claiming to see this creature running around. He's stealing hot dogs. I mean, Randy Ricketts once again is claiming that his weenie roast has been ruined for a 3rd time in a row. I mean, do I really have to respond to this? It's pathetic. It's beneath me. It insults my professionalism to have to... Mom? I'm making a video blog. Can you give me a break?
Hey, Sheriff, this is Luke McCain here. Yeah, them kids at it again. Every time there's a full moon, these damn kids tear my woods up. That smell like skunk weed and stuff out here. Look, I got you elected. I don't want to hear no more of this Crick Foot shit. There ain't no Crick Foot. Them town people just using that to get them city folk out here and spend their money. Yeah, well, you better get your butt out here and do something. The Crick Foot gonna be getting your job.
No. Why you keep talking about Crick Foot, man? Me and my kids ain't seen no Crick Foot. Babysitter here too watching. She keep an eye on them most of the time. I got things to do, man. Y'all ain't seen no Crick Foot. You seen Crick Foot?
I said Crick Foot. You did it. You could have said. We waited all day. I said
So you think there's a Crick Foot, or you're a non-believer?
I'm a believer because I just realized, how could a bear knock down that tree and the wind help it? That's not strong enough. It could have been lightning, but there hasn't been any thunderstorms around here.
That's
lately.
A good point. That is a good point. I guess you're the babysitter?
Yeah. Well,
don't think there's no Crickfoot because there was a thunderstorm a few days ago, knocked down 2 trees in my yard. And a bear could have just climbed on that and knocked it down, was sitting on it and knocked it down. I've seen a bear do that before, so.
I did a dance battle with Crickfoot, then he got extinct because he was so sad he lost. I'm gonna get sturdy. I do a dance battle with him if I want.
It ain't no such thing.
I believe in Crickfoot, Daddy.
I know a lot of people don't believe, especially, well, you're believers. No.
Crickfoot's just a myth. It's not a myth. I think it was a tornado.
I've heard tiger, I've heard bear, I've heard wind, I've heard lightning, and now you're saying it was a tornado.
My theory is that how he got this toenail broken off is that he was throwing the right foot creek in that ditch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He was going like this. Like this.
Yeah.
Beverly?
What?
Crickfoot's here.
Oh, Timmy Lynn, please. I am so tired of hearing about this Crickfoot.
You know dang well that he was in the area. I'm telling you, he's right here behind the sheet.
Okay, sure. You need to stay off that watermelon moonshine when we're doing laundry, girl.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God. I can't even with you anymore. I'm trying to get the laundry done and you're over here talking about this.
Wait till he takes our laundry. You don't see them feet?
Oh my God! Timmy Lynn, run!
No. I told you.
Oh my God. Is it really him?
We need to take a photo.
Is it really him?
I don't know. Should I step on it?
Stop outside. See if he runs.
I don't know.
Call Mama. Mama! 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 Oh, girl, we gotta get out of here.
So word's gotten out around town that we're looking for Crickfoot. Footage just keeps showing up in my email inbox.
So you want to know about Crickfoot? I'll give you a little history about this foul-mouthed beast. So, about a year ago, I was having a nice family little barbecue. You know, we were getting along with the family, putting hot dogs on the grill. It was a nice summer day. And of course, you know, as busy as a family member, you know, sometimes we get distracted at what all the commotion and how we're celebrating our good time. Then, as I left the grill, I smelled the most awful smell I've ever smelled. It was stench, it was stink, it stunk so bad, I thought my eyeballs were gonna fall out of my sockets. And then I go back to the grill, and there are no hot dogs left. None. Zero. They are completely gone. How can I feed my family just a bunch of empty hot dog buns when there's no meat?
I don't know who he is, what he is, or where he come from. Maybe he's an alien. Maybe he's from another dimension. All I know is he exists, and he's out there eating sandwiches made of wieners.
Crickfoot? Yeah, I remember Crickfoot. I saw him one time. I was hauling some lumber down Shaky Town Road, just down by the bypass, you know, and he came running across the road. Bob Johnson came running across the road, not Crickfoot, but, you know, and I swerved to miss him, and I ended up spilling some beer on my nice new Hawaiian shirt that I got at Penny's. And, oh, I missed that shirt. So anyways, I swerved to miss Bob Johnson, and I slam on the brakes so I don't go down over the side, you know, and hit the culvert, because if I would have hit that culvert, I probably would have spilled the rest of my beer. And anyway, so I slam on the brakes, and I look into the forest, and I see this big shaggy thing. I thought it was one of those shaggy dog things, like, what do they call it, a shit stain or shit pile, shit something. Anyway, I saw him, and he was standing there, and he started doing this like little sexy pookie dance, and I thought, this can be edited, right?
As cool as it's been to get all these encounter videos and stories and speculations and all that good stuff, I really wanted to bring in a historical aspect. I mean, I'm loving all these stories. It's wild, but I wanted to cut to the chase and really talk about the whole history of Crickfoot from a local historian's perspective. So I reached out to a recommended local historian from Hatfield Township, and I wanted to see what he had to say.
So I have this really cool opportunity today to meet with a local historian named Lou Farrell to learn a little bit more about the history of Crickfoot in Hatfield Township. I'm going to be heading over to the Hatfield Nature Center, which is one of the hotbeds for Crickfoot activity. So I'm excited to show you guys this interview.
Hi, my name's Lou Farrell. I'm a Crickfoot historian. I live in Hatfield, just a stone's throw from the creek, and we've got some familiarity with this guy. As a historian, I'm disappointed that we don't have the whole oral history from the Lenape. That's going to go back years, but they lived in this area, God, 10,000 years, and they lived right in the area where the hive of the Crickfoot were. Their village was behind the Brethren Church, between the Brethren Church and the creek, over that way, over where CJ and Megan are raising a whole mess of kids. It's now a suburban neighborhood, but it was the native village. Colonists being colonists, they did what they do, and they ran the native population out in 1776. So we really don't have their long-term understanding of this phenomenon. However, we have journals. We have journals from the Funkite and Mennonite farmers that moved into this area, and their mentions of Crickfoot are pretty distinctive, and they also jive with what modern Crickfoot studies show. This was a large animal, hairy. It moved through the forest quickly and quietly, but it also has had a taste for boiled meat, for boiled sausages. So it's kind of interesting. Historians always want a throughput. They want to see things that are consistent over time to help us understand what's going on. And the native people, they would have eaten pemmican, and the pemmican would have been boiled. Certainly, that's something the Crickfoot would have been interested in. The Mennonite farmers, those folks, they invented wieners, and that's something that boiling wieners would have attracted them. Also, I guarantee you there are some reports of smokehouses being raided. At the time, they blamed it on kids, but my guess is that it was the Crickfoots. And in 1895, when Hatfield Meats opened, the Crickfoots were still here, and I think the smells coming out of that factory would have cemented their love of Hatfield area.
I mean, it's some good news has come along. I've been able to make contact with two esteemed professionals in this cryptozoology field, 2 doctors actually. I was able to get one to agree to go out to do some field research to see what he could come up with. So he's prepared a camera person, some scientific type experiments, pseudo experiments. Hopefully they're data driven. We'll see what he comes up with, but I was able to get him to submit an interview to talk about his process and what he thinks is best. So we're going to take a look at that first.
Hello, I am Dr. George DeHoff, and today I'm here to discuss the Crick Foot. You see, I've studied the legend of the Crick Foot for more than 8 years at university. Now, during this time, I learned so much of the lore of the Crick Foot from all the previous encounters that other people have had. So now, I think it is time for me to head out and try to study the Crick Foot up close. I plan to set out with my trusty cameraman, Bob. Now, I've heard that the Crick Foot loves the hot dog. Mind you, these are real hot dogs, not the vegetarian or the chicken or whatever kind of nonsense now. The real beef hot dogs. Now, when we head out to the wilds, we shall look for signs of the Crick Foot and then place the hot dogs around with much strategery. See, all this in hopes of luring the Crick Foot to us. And maybe, just maybe, I will be able to see the Crick Foot with my own 2 eyes. And maybe I can just be able to meet the Crick Foot, say hello.
Hi, my name is Dr. Roland Gibson. I am the professor of cryptozoology at the Brainerd Institute. I've been teaching a course there for approximately 15 years. I was asked to comment on the Crick Foot phenomenon. I have traveled extensively in the United States and other countries studying these creatures and this phenomenon. I realize it's pretty scary. Some of these creatures have pretty incredible powers. They're hard to get away from. If you're in the woods, you've got Bigfoot. If you're up in the mountains, you've got the Yeti. If you're on a lake, there's Loch Ness Monster and her cousins. If you're down in the jungles of South America, there's the Chupacabra. I mean, they're everywhere. And, they range from annoying to, absolutely vicious. Some of them steal children, etc., 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 etc. So I realize that everyone's, a little nervous, looking for ways to defend themselves. So the one thing, when I'm teaching my class, the one thing I tell my students is the best way to defend yourself against these creatures and this phenomenon is, simply stop believing in nonsense. What are you, 12? You still believe in Santa Claus? Jesus, I can't believe they even let me teach this fucking course.
So after I received the footage from Dr. Gibson, I reached back out to him to see if he was okay, because he didn't seem okay after I viewed his footage and him walking off in a huff puff, but he just seems really stressed out from the disagreement between the believers and the deniers and everybody in between. Everybody wants to start an argument, so I'm gonna leave him be for now. It's probably for the best.
Hi everybody, it's me, Cammie, from Cammie's Conspiracies, and I have been contacted by numerous fans to cover the stories and folklore of the trending Crick Foot phenomenon. And today, I have with me the local expert on the Crick Foot situation, Bone Johnson. What is going on up there, Bone?
Oh, hey, Cammy. Just trying to hunt for Crickfoot. Seeing where he's at, what he's doing. Super hashtag blessed to be able to be on the program with you today.
So I have compiled a list of questions from my fans all over the country and all over the world to give us a little insight into the Crickfoot happenings.
Oh boy, here we go. Let's make it interesting.
Let's get started from the first question from Mississippi. What type of cryptid is Crickfoot?
Cammy, that's a great question to start off with. From my research, independent on my own, referencing the famed Crickfoot researcher, Dr. George DeHoff, and some of Dr. Roland Gibson's material, we've nailed it down to him being part of the Bigfoot genus species.
All right, now we have from Alabama. How do you know Crickfoot is in your area?
That's a great question, Cam. You'd be happy to answer it. So, when you're trying to figure out if a Crickfoot is in your area, you want to take a 2 or 3-pronged approach. I prefer the 2-pronged approach. If you look in the area woods, look for the obvious big footprints on the ground. You're also going to want to look on the trees to see if there's any hair or physical evidence that's been caught on the tree branches. You're also going to want to check your beer distributors in the area and also gas stations to see if there's been an increase in sales in Natty Daddy brand beer. These two things are very specific to Crickfoot's tastes. That's how you know Crickfoot's in the area, most likely.
Okay, now out of Arkansas, does Crickfoot make any identifying noises? Like, does he squeak, bark, howl, or yip?
From what I've heard from eyewitness encounters, it's more of like a whoop, whoop.
And out of West Virginia, can you give me an idea of his or her preferred habitat?
That's another great question, Cammy. I'd be happy to answer that. His preferred habitat, or Crickfoot's preferred habitat, is definitely along the banks of the Neshaminy Creek that runs through Hatfield. I've also had reports of sightings in the Hatfield nature area, and there's also been a few incidents of reports of Crickfoot sneaking out of my neighbor Roxy McFizzle's house after a night of something. Statistically, he is seen exiting her house after there's been a big spike in MD 2020 and Natty Daddy sales. So, yeah, there's that.
All right, and finally, out of Maine, are there any senses that can be triggered when he's in the proximity? Like a distinct smell or maybe identifiable scat?
That's a great question, Cammy. As far as smells go, there's so many smells that have been reported. I can't nail down one single one. As far as any identifiable scat, I have heard reports of late in the evening, much along the lines of the whoop whoop. I'll hear, people will hear beep ba 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 da boop, ba 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 da boop, beep ba 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 da boop. It probably just means he's happy, so I think that's probably the most identifiable scat that you're going to come across.
Okay. Oh, all right. Bone, thank you so much for your input. I do believe that a lot of this information is going to help me when I'm out there on the hunt for the elusive Crickfoot out of Hatfield, Pennsylvania.
Good luck, Cammy. I look forward to seeing video of your research. Hashtag Crickfoot lives.
All right. I'll be going live during my hunt, so all my conspiracy kiddies out there, you stay tuned.
So as I continue to work on this documentary, I discovered a sub group of people, women really specifically, that have this undying obsession, love, lust, something for Crick Foot. Totally blowing my mind. One of these people is dangerously close, in my opinion, dangerously close to starting like the first Cricketarian church of Pennsylvania. That's how in tune they are with Crick Foot. So I requested some footage from some women in the area to just give us an in-depth look about their feelings and how they interpret what they feel for Crick Foot. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at now.
Hiya Datamax, Tiffany here. Well, I'm sorry, this video is for one man and one man only. And if I'm honest, he's not really a man. He's my monster hunk Crick Foot. Most people think I'm crazy, but I'm like, whatever. I know he's real, and I'm gonna find him. We like all the same things as each other: hunting, sleeping out in the wild. He likes hot dogs, and I do too. And believe me, I can do more than just eat 'em up, big boy. So come on, Crick Foot. Why not let me be your urban legend?
Hey y'all, this is Billie Jean Langhorne. Not that Billie Jean. Anyway, I'm here to talk to you about Crick Foot. See, my daddy, he told me about Crick Foot long ago, and I went out in the woods and I met him, and he's real. He's really real. And I think that we're gonna get married soon. So just tell him if you see him, we've got a baby Crick Foot on the way.
Hi, I'm Cindy Scott, and I'm here to talk about my experience with the Crick Foot. So I go by, she, her, they, them, and I consider myself to be on the asexual spectrum. But there was something about this Crick Foot that just really turned me on in a way that I've never been turned on before. Let me get into it. So I was going on a hike, which is something that, I don't usually do, but I have a lot of white friends and they just really love to walk in the woods. We saw the Crick Foot at a distance and it was becoming nightfall. And so I was like, Stacy, look over there, that is the Crick Foot. And she couldn't believe it. She took off running like a bat out of hell. I woke up the next morning and Stacy hasn't been seen since. So I don't know what's going on with Stacy. I think maybe, I have a theory though. I think Stacy and the Crick Foot met each other, and it really hurts my feelings because I think she got into a relationship with the Crick Foot and she didn't want me to be stealing her thunder. I can't stop eating hot dogs. They are so, it just reminds me of the encounter, and all I can do is boil hot dogs at my home to recreate the experience. What I really need to do, I think, is I need to I need to get back in the woods and find Stacy, and maybe I think what we could do is we could live in a throuple. You know what I mean? I'm just not well, and I'm hoping that like we can figure this out, because I'm a believer. You know what I mean? I'm a believer in the Crickfoot, and I can't wait to live my true identity. They are an animal, and you know, so are we, and I just think that we can do this. So I really hope that I have a future with Crickfoot and Stacy. So
have you ever had something that has brought you such joy? You may refer to me as dew. Yes, like the morning dew that moistens each blade of grass, kissing it with hydration. You would like to hear my glorious experience with the one, the legend of Crickfoot. I was venturing in the forest. Oh, what a spiritual awakening. Walking barefoot, finding all sorts of inspiration for my new art. I look behind me, and there is this glorious creature, his fur shimmering and the sunlight coming through the trees. His aura, a red coral, very emotional and passionate aura. I knew what I needed to create next. Temptation. See how his mouth moistens with the thought of sliding his tongue across the hot dog. I still feel his presence within me, his aura combining with mine. I could use a hot dog.
My name is Margarita Brown. Most people call me Margie, but I believe in Crickfoot. And not just that, I'm in love with Crickfoot. I had a run-in with Crickfoot about 10 years ago. I was hosting a cookout and I made 56 hot dogs, not realizing that the bulk of my guests had actually switched to vegan and forgot to tell me. So I got through about 27 of them. I'm not proud of that. The remainder I took out to the trash can. And next thing I know, I felt hot breath on my neck. It smelled like 3-day-old tacos and burnt hot dogs. I knew in that moment that I'd found my one true love. So I dedicated my life for the past 10 years trying to catch him day in and day out. My monthly budget is about $1,300 for hot dogs. And in the past 10 years, I've tripled my raccoon population. But I mean, they're not so bad. Right now I have about 17 raccoons frequenting my property. I've named all of them. There's George, Jefferson, Oil Spot, Dipstick. I want to connect with him in the biblical sense. I just know it. I'm ready for you, Crickfoot. I've been ready for 10 years. George the Third, get out of my trash can!
the next piece of footage in this documentary is very interesting. It appears to be some type of Crickfoot mating ritual, like human to Crickfoot mating ritual of some kind. So we're going to analyze this, dive a little deeper into this phenomenon of Crickfoot love. Okay, so what we have here is female between 20s and 30s, somewhere in between, not really too sure. Looks like she's laying out some hot dogs in an attempt to attract a Crickfoot. Now, alright, she's moving something out of the way. I noticed her in a straight line. I'm surprised she's not using Dr. DeHoff's classic serpentine pattern. Alright, camera's panning over. Oh, what's... Alright, well, I don't know if that's a Crickfoot or a dude. I mean, he looks like a hungry dude. He could probably eat. Is she gonna hit him? Whoa!
What the hell?
It looks like she's upset.
What?
A Crickfoot.
What's it?
Looks like this dude just wanted some hot dogs.
What are you talking about?
She thought he was Crickfoot, although we're really not sure if Crickfoot is a human or animal or what. Whoa.
Nope.
I don't even know what Crickfoot is.
Wow, this is just getting intense.
Come on. I'll show you.
Yeah, it looks like she's gonna take him anyway.
Oh
well. I guess she's happy. Wait, who's filming this? Yeah. All right, great. All right, thanks, Gary. Bye. So I just got off the phone with a gentleman named Gary. He was actually an out-of-town visitor that had once vacationed in Hatfield along the Neshaminy Creek. So I asked him to submit his story, a few words telling us what he saw and experienced. Here's the story.
My name is Gary LeBerry, and me and my family decided to go vacation in Hatfield, Pennsylvania, and much to the disagreement of the locals, we went to Neshaminy Creek, and we got all our equipment set up, and our fireplace got going, and we had our cooler full of beer and hot dogs, and this is so hard for me to talk about, but a couple of us went back to the creek to sit and, waddle in the water. We heard a scream, and we went back, and my wife, the cooler was knocked over, all the beer was out on the ground, and all the hot dogs were missing. I said, "What happened?" And she said, "Crickfoot got it." I thought he was fake, but I look off into the distance, and I saw him eating our hot dogs as he ran off into the forest. I can't say anymore. I can't do it.
Alright, so it's a rainy night in Hatfield, and we got some reports of some activity, maybe, and we're gonna go check it out right now. I'm gonna check it out right now.
Jerry's gonna stay back at the office. I feel like Jerry's always at the office. But you might know that, or might notice that my beard is missing. It's, I had an unfortunate accident yesterday. I was trying to prep some wiener juice to put out in the nature area, and I tripped over a Lego block, and it splashed all up in my face and all in my beard. And let me tell you, that's like getting like skunk stank on your face. For the life of me, I couldn't get it off. Whatever recipe I used just was so potent, I couldn't get it off, so I just shaved my beard off. It was that nasty. I had to take drastic measures. But anyway, I'm gonna go check out some possible activity across town. I'll keep you posted. Alright, so I'm pulling up to the area. Let me get a light on here. Pulling up to the area where a possible sighting might have occurred. It's by the old railroad tracks on Maple Avenue. There are some apartments that are right across the street over there. Somebody reported they saw something out their window running across the train tracks. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was a person running to the bar across the street, from the bar across the street, somebody that forgot their laundry in the laundromat, or Crickfoot. I don't know. They just saw flailing arms and what looked like either tattered clothing or fur. So I'm going to see if we can find anything. I'll keep you posted. So we're gonna go over here. There's like a little footpath. Just don't want to step in too much water. There's like a lot of water around here. So there's the footpath. Not quite seeing anything, but there's the trains over there, the cargo trains. Whoa. What was that? I don't know if you guys heard that, but I heard something. Oh. Alright, well. I definitely heard something. Whoa. Okay, just noises. I'm hearing some noises that sound like Crickfoot noises. Can't really get across there. It's too wet. All right.
Wow, crop circles. Looks like there's aliens too alongside Crickfoot. Okay.
What's your name?
Henry,
What are you doing out here in the woods?
hunting for Crickfoot.
For what?
Crickfoot.
What's Crickfoot?
He's the big, oversized monkey who likes hot dogs.
Oh yeah, and you think he might be out here?
I'm a hired professional. That's hot dog.
Hey, why'd you bring that backpack? What's in your backpack?
It's a survival pack. Here, let me show you.
Sir, we're only out here for a little while. What's in your survival pack? Chips. Granola bars?
Another brand of granola bars.
Okay.
Look for yourself.
So wait, tell me everything you know about Crick Foot.
He's basically Bigfoot, but more handsome and likes hot dogs.
Hello, and we are live, my conspiracy kitties. This is Cammie from Cammie's Conspiracies, and after 3 hours of driving through questionable weather and 3 hours of even more questionable Pennsylvania drivers, I am here in Hatfield, Pennsylvania. I found myself I'm hiking up an area of the nature preserve area. I believe it's preserve. I don't know. I've been driving all night. Anyway, I'm up here. I'm come prepared. You see, I heard that there was that they like hot dogs, right? So I got myself a little hot dog perfume because I'm, wanna lure the Crickfoot out, right? So I've got my hot dog juice right here, and I've got hot dogs, and I think we're in a good area. I don't know though. Whoa! I think we're in a very good area. What is this? I think I found some hair. Ew. It's not great smelling. So I think we're onto something here. I think we're onto something, and oh my goodness, there must be an airport nearby because I keep seeing planes. Anyway, this is either we have Crickfoot remnants or somebody lost their weave, but I can't see anybody hiking up here. I'm the only crazy one. So now that I know that he's been here, I'm gonna set a trap. So in the effort to lure Crickfoot out, I have placed these hot dogs in areas that his hair says that he's already been. Nothing better than a hot dog juice. Woo! Making me hungry.
Hey folks, just a little update. I was able to go out to the area where Dr. Jord de Hoff was doing his research. I hadn't heard from him for a while, so I stopped back out to where I estimated he would have been, and I don't know where he was. I saw a lot of footprints, and I found some smashed video equipment, so I picked all that up and I set it off to a Cardinal Camera company that is in the area near where I live, to kind of reconstruct it, put it back together, and see what we can come up with. So I just got it back in the mail today, and we're gonna see what we find. So this is just, I have no idea what's on here, completely found footage. Maybe we can make sense of what happened to Dr. de Hoff.
Oh, hello, Dr. Yor here. We're out in the wilds looking for a Crickfoot, and I got some Nice tasty beef hot dogs by the Crick Foot. Yum yum. Mmm. Oh, I spilled the hot dog juice on me. Now I smell like hot dog. Well, let's go find the Crick Foot. Come on, Bob. Let's go find this Crick Foot.
Alright.
Oh, Bob. These Crick Foot footprints. You think, Bob?
Yeah, I think they are. Too big to be anything else.
Look at me, Bob. The big feet the Crick Foot has. Anything else, Bob?
No. Don't really see anything else.
Look. Broken tree. Oh, Bob. This looks fresh.
Maybe your Crick Foot is actually around here.
I think you might be right. Alright, Bob. I think probably we should split up. So, let's see. You go that way, and I'll go this way. And if you need me, call me on the radio. Okay?
Alright.
Yo, my first got your hot dogs.
Yeah, my hot dogs.
Yum yum.
Yay. Very
Happy
yummy.
hunting, Bob.
Thanks, you too. Disgusting.
What's that? I think I heard something over here. Oh, what was that? Let me check here. Bob, was that you? Bob, I heard something. Was that you? Bob, come in, Bob. Bob. Bob.
There's a Crick Foot here.
I'm hearing a lot of strange stuff here, and I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't see anything. I can't get a hold of Bob.
Or maybe this is just a prank, even better. Where is this guy? Yord, where are you, man? This isn't funny. Come on.
Good one, I know the hot dog. No, it's a hot dog. Run.
Okay. What is going on? What the? I'll come back for you. Oh, hell. Oh, no.
head